Happy Wednesday, everybody. I hope you're having a great midweek. And today we are back to have some fun Disney talk. That always lightens the mood here as we work our way through October. Ricky and Scott join me to have some fun today, and we get some great questions. First of all, we get a question about adding some relaxation to a trip. They're down at Walt Disney World, really hoping to have a good time at Epcot for New Year's Eve. But what about New Year's Day? How can they have some relaxation? Scott really kind of throws a wrinkle in there because New Year's Day has low crowds in the parks, but everybody's tired and wants to watch football. Do you just power through and go to the parks? We have that discussion. We also have a question about adding the park hopper or not, because they want to go to the Magic Kingdom on a day or on a night where there's a Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party. There's low crowds during that day. Should you add the park hopper? We have the discussion. And where's Tony? We have a listener that wants to see Tony over at Tony's Town Square restaurant. Ricky has some great insight on that too. This and much more coming your way on today's show. Don't forget our podcast brought to you by the Magic for Less Travel. We'd love to help you plan your next Disney adventure for no additional cost to you. Check out all the details today over at themagicforless.com. Please also use our Amazon affiliate link when you shop online. That one extra click really does support everything we do throughout the year. It's beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. And thank you so very much to our Patreon supporters. You guys continue to make this show possible. We could not do this without you. You can support us as well, just $5 a month. And for that support, you get a bonus show every week. It's called Mike in the Midwest. Come over this week. We'd love to have you. Patreon.com/Be Our Guest Podcast.
Ready to take a trip to the world? You found the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. This is where your memories come front and center on our podcast stage.
Welcome to episode 2573 of the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Rallman from BeOurGuestPodcast.com and one of the senior agents over at the Magic for Less Travel. Happy Wednesday to you. Hope you're having another great week. And again, we didn't say this on Monday, but happy Thanksgiving a few days ago to our Canadian friends. And what that means to all of our American friends is that turkey and stuffing have to be just around the corner, which is a great thing because, well, I celebrate my birthday around Thanksgiving, and so does Scotty G's wife, Elizabeth. We're birthday buddies. So the best time of the year coming up here very soon. But this is a pretty sweet time of the year right now as well. So joining me today, the crew's assembled. We're going to be answering your listener questions, having a good time. We're so glad that you're here with us today. And I should never have the news on while I'm recording this podcast because they're showing a race. It's called Run With Your Wife, and it's Mr. and Mrs. Incredible carrying each other in costumes on the news. I have no idea what that was because I have it muted, and that's why I should never have TV in the studio. Anyway, joining me today from Must See Adventures over on YouTube, we have your friend of mine, hashtag Scotty G. What's up, Scott?
Happy Wednesday, Mike. Yes, you and Liz are a day apart. Her birthday is actually on Thanksgiving this year. And speaking of birthdays, since this is dropping on a Wednesday, today is my birthday. So happy birthday to me. So
hey,
it's the birthday episode.
It is. Happy birthday.
So, happy Wednesday.
Happy
I hope
birthday.
Everyone is having a great October 16th today because it is one of the coolest days of the year. I'm just saying.
It is. So what are the big plans for the birthday this evening? I mean, you're going to go to the casino. You're going to go to, there's no Lugnuts game. It's off season. I mean, what do you got?
I mean, it's a Wednesday. Wednesday's a weird birthday day, right?
Is.
I mean,
yeah,
it's the middle of the week. It won't be like last year where I was having dinner at Ama celebrating my 40th at Olani. That was
not the same.
Quite difficult to top that this year here in Lansing, but I'm sure we'll go out to dinner, have a nice meal. You know, it'll be fine. You know, last year was the big celebration for the 40th, and now I got a decade of boring birthdays basically coming up.
I mean, it's Well, I mean, you can only hit the big, numbered ones every decade, so just hang in there, and we're not as excited.
Yeah, it'll be fine. It'll be a fun day, I'm sure.
And shout out to Justin Hooper over on Facebook, who's tuned in live with us as we record here on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and Instagram. He knows what I just saw on the news. Amazingly enough, it's actually called the Carry Your Wife race, and it's up in New Hampshire. He says the winner gets the wife's weight in beer and some cash. And apparently the winner was dressed, the winning couple there was Mr. and Mrs. Incredible. That's why it caught my eye. I just happened to have it, on from earlier in the day, and I forgot to turn it off, and I just peeked up there, Mr. and Mrs. Incredible on the screen, and Fireman Carey, and they're running through mud. I was like, whoa.
That is
Where's Frozone? It was wild. If you're running for beer and cash, that's, I guess, that's winner take all. Anyway, joining us.
That's so great.
You're going
to see Brian and Ricky in that race.
That's what I was just going to say, because Brian runs marathons and that dude can run. So we have Ricky. She joins us from the mouseforless.com and a DisneyWorldAfterAll.com. Ricky, sounds like you need to head to New Hampshire next year. What's up?
Okay, I guess we do. He hasn't really been running that much since we had Lucy, so
it didn't look like it was very much of a distance race. They were running through like a mud bog.
Oh yeah, then I'm out. Me and mud is definitely not a thing that's gonna happen. So I'm out.
How many husbands drop their wives in the mud like that?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm worried about, and that's why this would be.
But it could add extra weight when you go to the scale after the race for more beer.
That's true.
Right?
It's true. It's a calculated risk, right? You do it, it could have detrimental consequences, but it also could get you more beer and cash.
It could.
Who knows?
Yeah.
So what's up, Ricky? You ready for some questions?
I am, yeah. I'm ready to answer some questions. I'm here with all the kinds of knowledge.
So today in St. Louis, we have a freeze warning. That means it's time for Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party, and Diane's got a question about that. She says, I have a question. She's come to the right place. We will be visiting Magic Kingdom for Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party for the first time ever. Very excited. My daughter is begging me to make reservations at Tony's so she can see Tony come out and greet guests. I've never heard of this. Is this a thing? Thanks in advance. I don't think it is.
I have. However.
Tony?
Yes. So before COVID, they did I want to say it was a dessert party or some sort of specialty dinner or something like that, where Tony actually came out and met with guests and things like that. Unfortunately for you, it was, I think, a one-time thing. It only happened, I think, in 2019. So that would be the year before COVID. And then never has returned again. So I don't know if that wasn't just a popular experience that they did, or if COVID just killed it or what. But yeah, unfortunately, she's not going to be able to see Tony. So you can still go to Tony's. I thought I recently ate there after not having eaten there for like 20 years. And I thought the food was excellent. They really have upped their game. They have like new chefs, new menus and things like that. So if you are looking for somewhat decent Italian food now at the Magic Kingdom, I'm going to suggest Tony's as an option. It was really good. So if you want the food, go to Tony's. If it was really just to meet Tony, then and you don't care about the food at Tony's, then just go somewhere else.
For one thing, I've never seen Lady and the Tramp, which I guess that's a character in Lady and the Tramp because of the dogs.
Yes.
Right? Okay, so Tony's the chef, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
In the movie.
Yes, he owns the restaurant.
They
Yeah.
share the
He sings Bella Notte, like the popular
He does.
song.
Oh, he's.
Yeah.
It's not
Yes.
like.
No, it's not Careless Whisper.
Okay, it's
no,
not
we're
that.
good.
Okay, just wondering. Okay, but it's a romantic scene, right, with the noodle and all that stuff.
Very. Yeah.
Okay, but here's the thing. I didn't even know this was a thing, like Tony. That cracks me up, but that's awesome. Like
It was a one-time thing.
Super cool. Like it's okay, the guy with the squeeze box. That'd be sweet. I do like the idea of that. They should do that more. Picturing that in my head is cracking me up internally right now. Like I'm dying on the inside. Just
it would be a great character
was that not in
experience
something
for Disney
that was...
to have all the time. I'm not gonna lie. That sounds amazing.
I've seen that in something besides Lady and the Tramp, because I've not seen Lady and the Tramp, but there is something Disney where they go around singing Bella Notte with the squeeze box. There's like another movie or TV show or something.
Not to my knowledge.
Yeah, there is.
That's mine either.
And like they're Bella Notte. Yeah, I have. There's an attraction. There has to be an attraction at Disney where they do this.
You're thinking maybe Pirates of the Caribbean, where like the one.
There
is, but there is something else. There's something else where they do it kind of humorously. where they squeeze the squeeze box and they sing Bella Notte. It's like maybe is it in like PhilharMagic? Is it in like
No.
some kind of an attraction? It's a movie. God, this is
No,
killing me now.
I don't think it's in PhilharMagic because like that's more
it's not.
not. When I said PhilharMagic, I was thinking Fantasmic actually,
Oh,
but it's not in
yeah,
Fantasmic
no,
either.
it's not that either.
I think there's something. But anyway, I'm with Ricky, though. I will say, because I do like the food at Tony's, but this is one of those places, man, right in Town Square, Magic Kingdom. I mean, every person walks past this place. They could do much more with it. They should theme it even more heavily. I think it's underutilized. Scott, what do you think?
I think so. I've actually dined there. The last time I dined there was for a Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party, believe it or not. It was a couple of years ago. And I'll say I thought it was better, but I agree. I think there's so much more potential. It was only the second time I ever eaten there. The other time we timed it perfectly to dine outside during the Main Street Electrical Parade, which is
Ooh,
like ideal.
nice.
Like if you can
Yeah.
get an outdoor table during a parade, that is ideal because it's a very cool viewing spot. But in the pre-show today, we mentioned Mike Scopa, and like I always think of Tony's with him because there was a great episode, Mike, back in the day where they were talking about Tony's and he was hating on it, and like, but then he was like, "Well, I can think of a good thing to say," and he was like, "I like the chairs at Tony." And like, what? It went on the whole episode. Like every like 5 minutes, he would just pop in and like, "Oh yeah, I like this. The menus look nice at Tony."
The
It
checkered
like,
floor, the checkered tile.
even the entire
Yeah,
episode,
yeah.
like, and like I was just dying every time he would just jump in like off topic and say something he liked about Tony's, which was like obscure, like, "Oh yeah, like the chairs." Like I don't know, it was just so funny. But it's a cute restaurant, but yeah, I think it needs a little bit of love. But hey, Ricky, I'm glad to hear that it's heading in the right direction.
It was I seriously, it was much better. They had these gigantic mozzarella sticks. I mean, seriously, they were like a foot long, and I'm not joking. And the pasta was really good. Yeah, we had a caprese salad, which was fantastic too. So I'm gonna suggest definitely put Tony's back on the radar. If you've written it off like I did, we literally were like, Brian and I were looking at reservations, and we sat there and said, "Where haven't we been in a while?" And Tony's was one that popped up, and we said, "We haven't been here in a while," so we jumped on it, and we both were like, "We are coming back here sooner rather than later." It was really good.
Or don't, because it's clutch, because you can usually get an ADR there.
It's true.
Nice.
It's true. Yeah.
Because it is a good restaurant. It's not real, it's not super fancy. It's not super themed, but it's good quality food, and it's right there in the Magic Kingdom. All right. You know what? Frost warning tonight in St. Louis means it's time for Wine and Dine race weekend. We have a question about Wine and Dine, and it is from Laurie. Oh, she's in Poplar Bluff, Missouri. I have family down in PB. Let's see what it says. Hey, Mike and BOGP crew, longtime listener, and enjoy everything y'all share each week. I'm confident you'll have an answer to my question. I'm glad she is, because I'm not.
Yes, me too.
My best friend, a BOGP Lizard newbie, is running the Wine and Dine 10K and half marathon in a couple of weeks. This is her first time to run this particular race, but she has previously run the Springtime Surprise 2 different years. Typically, we stay at Pop Century, and I, as the good friend and cheerleader, get up and board the bus with her super early, send her off to her corral closer to race time, and then hang out at the finish line bleachers until she finishes. I love cheering on all the runners. Here's my question. This year, we're upgrading and staying at the beach club. For the day of the half, I would like to board the bus with her, like typical, but I am, if instead of hanging out for 2 to 3 hours waiting at the finish line, return to the beach club, maybe on one of the late arriving Run Disney buses or a minivan or a Lyft, to be able to see her run by the resort at mile 3. She will be in one of the last corrals to start. She did not submit a proof of time. Then get back to the Epcot parking lot to see her finish. I'm guessing a minivan or a Lyft again, because I'm not sure I could get to or into the park at International Gateway and walk to the front to the finish line in the parking lot. Any thoughts or tips would be greatly appreciated. Thanks, Skip, for all you do. Scotty G, if you decide at the last minute to fly in for Wine and Dine to cheer on the Lizards, let me know if there's a Lizard rooting section I can join. Mike, I'm the former coach and cheer mom for the from Poplar Bluff that reached out to you last year after cheer stayed at SEMO. Oh, I know. Okay. Yes. I'm still bitter at Jackson, by the way. Okay. But And Poplar Bluff did well this year, by the way, out at Lindbergh High School. You guys rock. Go Mules, by the way. That's their mascot, the Mules. Good luck to Mallory and her team at this year's state championships. I won't be at Mizzou to see them because of this race weekend. We already had booked, but can't wait to see how they do. Thanks again, Laurie in Poplar Bluff. Go Mules, HOWELL. Let's all hit 0. Okay, that's out of the way. Talking about seeing the runners, and Scott, you've done this with Elizabeth, and we've all, Brian's done this. Ricky, you've done this because you've manipulated the half marathon cheering stuff. You're probably the best one to answer this, Ricky, because we're typically on the course. What do you think? Beach Club.
Yeah, but it's for Wine and Dine though.
Yep. But think about it. So the course for Wine and Dine. Well, what is the course?
So I'm looking at the course.
Okay,
so yeah,
Scott's
so the 3 mile mark is going to kind of go. So it starts through like World Showcase and Epcot, and then we'll hit like the Boardwalk area resort.
Yeah, so, I thought it changed this year. Yeah.
I think that might be right. So the full marathon is going to change.
Oh no, that's the one that changed. Okay, got it.
So that is doable. So I mean, you would just have to rely on the transportation, right? So, I mean, Laura, I know you're trying to be a great best friend, but like I almost wouldn't even like go to the corrals, like and just stay at the resort and just start your morning like by cheering.
Yeah.
I think that's the safest route for you to be able to cheer them on so early in the race at mile 3. I know they're in the last corral, but that would be my safest bet. But you can definitely still attempt to go to the corrals, be that great friend with them, support them, and go there. But then that's when it's going to get a little chaotic, where you're going to need a minivan or rely on Disney transportation. But with all the road closures and such,
that might be real.
That's kind of risky. But yeah, I love the idea though. After that, because you will have a good time frame from like mile 3 to like mile 12, where you can cheer at the Epcot parking lot. That's where I always cheer for Wine and Dine. It's an awesome spot. So that's where you might run into some other lizards too. If you just hang out like where the kind of like where the buses like drop you off. There's like there's this little route where the runners go by, like between like mile like 11 and a half and 12. They come down this hill. It's a great spot to see your runner and all that and cheer everyone on. Give them that last little boost for the last mile. You can definitely make it from there, from the beach club, either a minivan or even a bus to Epcot, because they'll drop you right there in where the buses go.
I totally agree with you. I would not go to the start with them. I would see them off at the beach club lobby that morning and just say good luck, and I'll see you when you come by at mile 3, because that is just going to add so much complication to the equation, and it's just you're going to be hard up to get back, and it's going to add a lot of drama. See them at mile 3, make your way back over to the finish, or like Scott said, that parking lot stretch as you're entering back into Epcot. I like that.
It's a good spot to be. And I mean, so the buses might not be running that early yet to Epcot, because I said you could take a bus to Epcot. I'm forgetting like how early these races start. So a minivan might be your best bet. And you can just drop them off like where they normally would drop off, like if you're going to Epcot, because you'll be right there where you can do the cheering for that last stretch.
You just got to remember, like, roads are closed and transportation is going to take a lot longer than typical with these. She knows with the races, though. You got to that's my biggest thing I always have to remember, is that I am my mind's eye as somebody that travels to Disney a lot. Like I have a kind of a database built into my head as to how long it takes to get from place to place. But on races, throw it out. It's going to take a lot longer. But good luck. And hey, you're a good friend. I mean, you are a great friend for cheering like this. And every person is lucky to have a friend like you. So they're very lucky.
And who knows, Lori, maybe I will show up. There's still time, right? I can make that last minute flight.
He's done it many times. So let's go. All right, Cheryl's got a question. It says New Year's Eve at Epcot. Ticket question. Oh my gosh. She says, thank you for answering my question on the podcast. It made my day to hear you all interact with my questions. And I made all of my friends listen to that episode with me. Hey.
Nice.
We appreciate that. I do have 2 follow-up questions. One, we will have a first-timer going with us on this trip. Can you share some tips on how to get the most out of our park experience during this busy time? I have an annual pass, and the rest of the party has 4-day park hoppers. We want to try to get in as many rides as possible and try to hit the new popular rides like Tron, Tiana, and Guardians. And number 2, we are planning to have a resort day on New Year's Day to recover after New Year's Eve at Epcot. Any advice for what to do on that day? We're staying at Old Key West. One member in our party wants to try beignets somewhere. Thanks again for all you do with the podcast and at the Magic for Less. My past trips have been made better thanks to the tips I've learned from you guys on this show. Well, thanks, Cheryl. We appreciate that so much. All right, so Cheryl looks like she's on an AP. The rest of the party's got their 4-day hoppers. They want to try to get in as much as possible, like Tron, Tiana, Guardians. They're going during that busy time, New Year's Eve-ish. So, Scott, throw some tips. Ricky, what you got?
So this is off of this is not on Cheryl's plan. I'm just gonna throw this out as a suggestion though, because you want to try to maximize like all these rides during this busy time. And you said your resort day is going to be New Year's Day. I will say from experience, New Year's Day is a slower park day for sure because of the reason like everyone's out, right?
Everybody's
at studios, Epcot, Magic Kingdom,
Exactly.
which I know you want to be at Epcot on New Year's Eve. So you're probably going to be a little tired, but I tell you, like it pays big dividends to go to the parks on New Year's Day. And it's not just that, like people are like, oh, it's a fresh start. Like I'm going to start eating healthy now, so that they're going to like start, or they're going to be going to the gym. I'm telling you, it's a real thing.
Didn't you hear the second
like,
part? They're looking for beignets.
Yeah, I know. No, I'm saying that's why people don't go.
That's
what I'm saying.
Right,
that's why the parks are going to be empty. And then the football people are going to want to watch the bowl games. You know, like it really does drop. I've seen it because I've been there a few times. It's amazing what New Year's Day crowds are like. So just going to throw that out there as a suggestion. I know I like the plan of the pool day after the long day of park touring, but keep that in mind if you're trying to get some stuff done. New Year's Day might be a really good option for you.
So with that, what do you? It's kind of balance it. Maybe on New Year's Eve you go into the park at say 3 or 4 and make that kind of ease your way into a resort day. Do 3 to 4, and then, that's what we always do because I can't survive. Like there's no way I could do Epcot from like rope drop to midnight. Heck no, man. Epcot is so fun on New Year's Eve, but I mean, the people that go there in the morning and are still alive at midnight, I don't know how they do it because it is awesome. Don't get me wrong. New Year's Eve at Epcot, it's amazing. But if you are there, you should get a Congressional Medal of Honor if you make it from rope drop through New Year's Eve at Epcot. Right. It's just crazy. You got the Fire Breathing Dragon, you got the live music, you got the noise makers. I mean, you are so overstimulated. I don't know. Ricky, give your thoughts. How could they maximize their fun?
Yeah, no, I love Scott's idea of actually going for New Year's Day. I think that's a great idea. And actually, maybe I would even potentially like swap it and do the 30th. Maybe do that as the pool day, that kind of thing. Just because I think that would probably be a little bit better. But I digress. To maximize the most amount of time, I mean, you're going to want to probably consider a lightning lane. Yes. I would definitely think that would be the best option to be able to experience all the attractions that you wanted to experience. It's still going to be really difficult though, because it is seriously that stretch between Christmas Day and New Year's Eve is ridiculously busy. I mean, those are always the times that we would see park closures. So just keep that in mind. Now, of course, things have changed a little bit since COVID. Haven't necessarily seen that as much lately, but you never know. They may go back to, the park's closed. So just a heads up, that stretch right there is usually when you'll see the most. So I would, it's going to be harder to get those lightning lanes and virtual queue reservations, but those are the two things that I would make sure that I would try to do to be able to maximize your time. And if you're looking for beignets, I just wanted to circle back to that. You've got a couple of great options that you can choose from, at least as of right now. The one is for sure a permanent option, and that is going to be Port Orleans French Quarter. They have beignets pretty much all the time there. So if you're looking for those, they're really good. And sometimes they have specialty beignets, and sometimes they have alcoholic beignets. Yep. It just depends on what you want.
I mean, you're bringing in the new year, bring it in right.
Exactly. Might as well, right? So that's an option. But then if you are just looking for kind of a regular beignet and you're in the Magic Kingdom, as of right now at Golden Oak Outpost, they are serving beignets to kind of, mix in with the whole idea of Tiana's Bayou Adventure opening. So they are doing them there. But they've always said that that's temporary, although every time I've gone past it, it's a huge line. So, it does much better than chicken nuggets and, French
Why would
fries,
that be temporary? So. I mean, give the people what they want. People,
exactly.
They're donuts. Come on, people.
Exactly. I mean,
Okay,
So
Jason.
let me ask you two a question. I have a beignet question for you too.
Ooh.
Because I
Yes.
think
Okay.
you've had both. So beignets at French Quarter or beignets at Disneyland Park. Which one do you prefer?
It's all about context. Disneyland.
So I've only had the Disneyland beignets. So
Even though they are
Yeah.
good at French Quarter, but I mean, dude, with a mint julep, and they're, and my
Mhm.
buddy, they were awesome out there. That was
now,
the best.
now I will admit they keep having during this Halloween season these cookies and cream beignets at Port Orleans, and every time I think I really need to get over to Port Orleans to try these because they sound amazing, but they only have them during Halloween, and I can never get over there in that like brief window. So I'm always very disappointed in myself because they always sound delicious, and I can never get over there. But
But the French
Yeah.
Quarter ones are solid, man. That bag of shit powdered sugar. I mean, Scott, what about you? I mean, if you had to
So,
pick,
Mike, I love M beignets with my boy, right?
yeah,
And why can I not think of the area?
New Orleans Square.
Thank you. In New Orleans Square.
Yeah.
You got the train. Sometimes there's music. You're just chilling, relaxing. It's a beautiful setting. But the beignets at French Quarter just blow them out of the water, in my opinion. Those, because I feel like they're too dense in Disneyland. Like they're fuller in at French Quarter, and they're just significantly better in my opinion. Like I really noticed the difference. But then you're thinking like, oh, but it's Disneyland. It's fun. They're cute. But like I got it for taste and value. Like it's French Quarter all day. So
I'll give
not
you
even
that.
close.
God, now I'm looking
do-
up
I can see
beignet
it.
places in St. Peters, Missouri. Beignet. Where can I get a beignet tonight on a Monday evening
Mhm.
after Taco Bell?
I
Well,
know, right?
It's gonna be
Let's
a
all
struggling
let's
night.
all share in the Discord our photos of our beignets.
Yeah,
Okay?
exactly.
Struggle bus.
But you can't go wrong. You can't go wrong with any of them.
No,
Like
you can't.
like the setting, the taste, they're all great. They're just like a little different, but yeah, you can't go wrong with a beignet in your hand on vacation.
No,
You just
and
can't.
I was thinking though, they're at Old Key West. Here's what I would do, just real quick, because they're looking for an easy day. I take the boat on the Sassagoula, like the Disney Springs, grab some lunch, and then instead of take the boat back, but on the way back, go to French Quarter, grab your beignets, stroll around the resort, catch some jazz music, just walk off the lunch, and then just right back up to Old Key West. There's your relaxing day right there.
That
New
is,
Year's
I
Day.
mean, if you could time it right, depending on the day of the week, you can see the live jazz music playing
heck
at the
yeah.
lounge. Like, oh man,
Dude.
so good.
I mean, that's why we're here. We're here to get you
Also,
beignets and
way to
jazz
go,
music.
Jason, on rubbing it in. By the way,
He
he
does.
says the cookies and cream ones are really good, and thanks a lot. Yeah,
In a red solo.
making me
means it with-
jealous.
He means it with the kindness of his heart when he says
Yeah,
it.
of course, I'm sure. Yeah.
Beignets are better at a red solo cup. All right, next. We have Clayton with a question over on Facebook. We're going in November. We normally don't get the park hopper. Is it worth paying extra to get the park hopper and go to the Magic Kingdom on a party day and park hop somewhere else for that evening? Touring Plans has the Magic Kingdom day as a 2 for the day of the party. Those days are awesome. I'm telling you what, man, when you go, because people avoid, for the most part, will avoid the Magic Kingdom on the day that there's a Halloween or a Christmas party, hard ticket event. Man, it's tempting. I mean, the park hopper's not cheap, but it depends really too if you're going to use the park hopper for the duration of the trip, because it's something you don't add for a day. It's something you add for length of stay. So if you got a 9-day ticket, it's going to cost you the same as using it for 2 days. Like it's
Right.
it's like you want to use it for every day of your stay. I'm probably not saying that right, but you want to make sure that you're going to use it as much as possible. You're not just going to always use it just for that one day, be able to hop more than one day. But yes, that day you would love that day and then be able to hop like the Epcot that night and have fun there. I would say if you can afford it, that day would be lovely. It's economics though.
Yeah.
I would say
Yeah,
yes,
for
if
sure.
you can.
I mean, the Pam Forster. I feel like I'm here for Pam today. So the Pam Forster answer is yes.
Yes.
You get the park
exactly.
hopper because it's almost like your insurance policy in a way too on that too, because like there could be a time where you go to Animal Kingdom or whatever, or you go to the studios and you're like, man, I would love to go to Epcot
Yeah.
tonight and see this, and like boom, then you have it, and I always say like the parks just have this different personality about them from day and night, and like I feel like you get 2 days in one when you have the park hopper. Like if you go to Magic Kingdom in the morning and then you go to Epcot at night, it just feels like you live 2 days as opposed to Magic Kingdom in the morning, Magic Kingdom at night. It all feels like it's one day. I just love like that separation I don't. That's just a preference for me. I don't like spending the same park all day. I like to hop, but that's just the nature of me because I'm normally an annual pass holder though.
Yep. Justin says we did no park hopper one trip. We regretted it. Those few times we use it, it's a game changer. So there's a little feedback from
but
Facebook.
Mike said if you can afford it, right? I know it's costly to upgrade, especially only like if it's like a 2-day ticket too. That's tough. That's tough to do. But
all right. And he follow said we'd have to use it at least 2 days because there's no way he's missing Happily Ever After. So yeah.
Gotcha.
Watch out for that though, because I'm in the same boat with November. I'm going in late November, and those with Jollywood Nights in there too. Like it's really has messed up my planning schedule.
The flow is gone. Yeah.
Like, okay, like all right, I'm gonna get Narcoossee's this night so I can watch Happily Ever After. That's normally my move. And like, oh shoot, there's a Christmas party that night. The fireworks are at 10. It's not even Happily Ever After. Like, okay, well I'll watch it after I'm at Hoop-de-Doo at the fort. Oh nope, that's a party night too. Like I've had to like readjust like all my plans, and then you throw in the Hollywood Studios one, like they don't do Phantasmic or they do like a super early Phantasmic, then that messes with me too. So definitely watch the hours. Like you really got to be strategic when there's 2 hard ticket events happening in the month or the week that you're there.
You're playing checkers and Disney's playing chess.
Yeah,
that's right.
So they basically planned it for me because we're staying deluxe. Like when you're staying at the cabins on points, it's considered deluxe. So there's 2 deluxe extended hours. So that like. So they basically planned my whole trip based on that. All right, Animal Kingdom's going to be the first night because it's deluxe hours that night. Epcot's the last night for deluxe, so we're going to Epcot that night. I mean, yeah. So it's all. Thanks Disney for planning my trip for
you're
me.
Done.
Yeah, right.
Check please. All right, Shaggy's in the chat with us over on YouTube. Thanks, Shaggy. Good to see you here. He's staying at Caribbean Beach for the very first time during Halloween. Is there something that I should not miss? I will say, during Halloween, watch out for Goofy with the chainsaw. He does hang out down by Trinidad and Tobago sometimes, so be careful. No, so he's actually specifically for the resort. I mean, there's nothing real specific for the resort around Halloween, Ricky, is there?
I mean, they will probably do a movie, Under the Stars. It will probably be Hocus Pocus, if I had to take a guess, or Nightmare Before Christmas.
Or Halloween 2.
No. Definitely
Poltergeist.
not that. But the resorts, the resorts do have like a resort guide, and I would just go to the front desk and see if they're doing anything special for that day. They probably won't have anything announced ahead of time. It'll be just a pop-up kind of thing that they'll have for that day. But you never know. I mean, sometimes they've brought out characters dressed in Halloween costumes. Sometimes they'll do fun, not Goofy with the chainsaw. Stop it. Sometimes they'll do, fun activities by the pool, that kind of thing. So you might see that. They don't usually do anything like trick-or-treating or anything like that. But you'll definitely have for sure the movie Under the Stars. I can guarantee you'll have
I think some do trick-or-treat because I've done trick-or-treating at resorts before.
Do they? Okay, that's cool.
But I think it just depends on the resort. So I sound like a broken record here, but I've said this so many times that resorts some are ran better by their leadership than others. So I will always say Port Orleans are like the best managed resorts out there. They just do such a fun time with like activities and things like that. We've run Disney events, other things too. But I would say Caribbean Beach is up there too. Like last time I stayed there for Caribbean Beach was actually over a holiday. It was New Year's. And they had so many fun things happening with like photo frames, that you can take photos with. So I have a feeling they'll have like Halloween themed photo frames, and they'll have all sorts of activities. Like Ricky is saying, like you really don't know until like the week of when you get like the
exactly
planning guide. But I'm not gonna say for sure they're gonna do trick or treating. I've seen that at Old Key West on a trip that we've stayed there. But I've also been at All Star Sports on Halloween, and they didn't do trick-or-treating. So it's like I think it really depends up to the leadership of the resort. I think Caribbean Beach has some strong leadership, so you might see something. And hop over to the Riviera too and see what they're doing. They might be doing something fun too.
Yeah, it's true, because you got the Riviera and you just pop over there. Because they tend to the Riviera. I will say the Riviera, and again because it's a DVC resort, and I think that kind of helps. The DVC resorts kind of tend to also cater to their audience, but they also this was built more recently, and I think they kind of thought about these things more in the planning. They have almost that like yard, like that patio kind of area with like the bocce area.
Yeah.
And they tend to really, that's utilized, I think, for special events like like Halloween, I could totally see them busting out something there. I'd peep over there on Halloween too if there's nothing
wish
happening
they
at
would-
Caribbean Beach.
I wish they would promote stuff for that better. Like even like when I'm going down for Thanksgiving, like I would love to know.
Oh.
And it's
They're
usually
the
like
worst.
usually
about-
most restaurants are going to have like a Thanksgiving dinner, but like you want to know for sure when you make
Yeah.
that reservation.
I know,
for
Yeah.
6 days,
seriously.
right?
Trust me.
You're just like, well, they did it back
And
in
Easter
1997.
is another one that
Yeah.
kills me. Like Easter, like come on. Like
It is
I-
the bane of my existence. I have been fighting this fight for years while updating the Mouse for Less because they don't ever announce anything, maybe, but possibly 2 weeks before Thanksgiving. And by then, everybody's usually
Right.
got their advanced dining reservations done. So it's useless at that point. And you're sitting there going, when people are planning their reservation 60 days in advance, well, why don't you have any idea about what kind of specialty dining option you're going to have for Thanksgiving and Christmas? I mean, Christmas is another one that they oftentimes have a specialty dining experience. They just don't ever put it out there. It's just here's the restaurant. Oh, look, we have a special turkey dinner today. You could put that out
So I'm
there.
going to help people that are planning for like the holiday season because we make things happen right on the podcast.
Yes,
Right.
is
please
what
do.
I always hear.
Be
So,
careful. We wield a lot of power with these things on Wednesday.
We
I know,
do.
but
Easy.
this is asked in the Discord by our friend Paul, and I was thinking the same thing this morning. It was funny. He sent the same message, like, "Why don't we have candlelight narrators and dates yet?"
Oh
Like,
my goodness.
but that's kind of
yes.
crazy to me. Like,
I
I mean, they had a
suspect-
good idea what the dates are going to be because it like always starts like the day after
Thanksgiving-ish.
Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
But like,
Yeah.
no narrators yet, no dining packages. Come on, let people are making. I had to make my
I mentioned-
reservations at 60 days. Why can't I make those?
I mentioned
Yeah.
this last week. I suspect they were probably supposed to announce those last week. And I think the hurricane might have pushed that back a
Oh,
little
yeah,
bit.
maybe.
So
And I will say, like on the travel agent side of things, it's still super long holds to modify packages and stuff. So they are still catching up as of
Yeah.
Monday afternoon. It's still kind of a mess.
But why would it have been last week? Why wouldn't it be at the 60-day mark for those dates?
Because
That's
that makes
what-
sense.
Like if
So-
I have to make a reservation, at
because
60
again, that would
days,
only make
I know.
sense. But
that's the only reason why I bring it up. Like,
Yeah.
same with some other things. Like I think fantastic dining packages or there's another weird dining thing that is not available at 60 days for whatever reason. Like, and it's
Mhm.
like you train us for this, but you don't make all the options available for us when you tell us we need to do it. So that's just Scotty G little rant.
But
I
hey,
didn't mean to rant
get
there,
it.
guys.
I'm saying they're probably out by now. So you're welcome.
I'm sure. Like, happy birthday to
Like-
me.
like,
Woo!
yeah, let me-
yeah,
say, like-
exactly. There you go,
Yeah,
Scott.
and
Way
I
to make it
believe-
happen.
And I've never been to the show before. Like, I'm always just curious, like, if someone I know is going to narrate, and then like, oh, maybe I'll mark that off my list finally. So,
Yeah. Wait, you've never seen Candlelight?
no, I have not.
What? Oh my goodness.
I know. I have
That surprises me. Wow, that's a shock. I have seen it a couple times. Most recently with Gina Davis, who did a really good job
Oh,
doing
nice. Yeah.
Candlelight. Yeah. She did a fantastic job. But
not.
of
I guess at
course,
this point, I'm just waiting for the right person.
the person that I would want to see the most is John
Oh, yeah.
Stamos, or
Yeah.
Neil Patrick Harris. I mean,
Both of
either
them are
one of
great.
those, would be fantastic. So
So Stamos was there once when we were there with like Pam and Steve, and I just didn't go. They ended up going. They booked like a Via Napoli like dining package that day, and like
nice.
And then I was like, we probably should have done it too, but we
You
didn't.
probably should have. Yeah, that would have been a good idea. Yeah.
Real quick though, speaking of Halloween stuff, Justin offers up over on Facebook. We went 2 weeks ago for my wife's 50th. We did the Hollywood and Vine dinner to see Minnie and friends in Halloween costumes. It was great, and the food was surprisingly good. That's another place. Okay, Hollywood and Vine.
I like that
Here's
place.
your analogies. Hollywood and Vine is to the studios as Tony's is to the Magic Kingdom.
Ooh, that's a hot take.
It is because you never think about it. That's the most well.
I
maybe
do
it's
think about
Mama
Hollywood and
Melrose.
Vine a little bit though.
Do
yeah.
you though? I never
I
think
do.
of I walk right past it every time. Never like maybe it's Mama Melrose, but like the hidden restaurant, table service restaurant of the studios is either Hollywood and Vine or Mama Melrose. One of those two.
Yeah.
I
would
never
give
think about
you
either.
That, yeah, I give you that.
Anyway,
all
next question, and it could
I'm getting
be
hungry.
I know.
Seriously, I know, dude.
Tony's,
I'm-
Mama
dude,
Melrose,
I'm ready to
Hollywood
wrap.
and Vine.
I'm ready to put up the Christmas tree too because I love Christmas. Okay, last question of the day is from Richard. Hey, Mike, Pam, Ricky, and Scott. Love the show. I'm scheduled to go to a conference in Orlando in mid-November. It'll be off-site, but only a 10-minute Lyft drive from the World. I have one morning free until 1, and I was wondering what you would do with free morning. I'm not planning on going to the parks, but I'd love to get a quick Disney fix to tide me over until I return with the family in April. I'll be all by myself, but would love to have a meal and do as much as possible with the little bit of time I have. Would love to hear your thoughts on what you would do with 4 hours and no parks for a Disney fix. Thank you, Richard. I love this question. You get 4 hours. You can't have too much fun or the family will be all over you.
I know social media. It's killing me with that because I would do a character meal at a resort.
Dude, you gotta be careful, dude. The family will conk you in the head if you have too much fun. But you gotta, you want to have. Richard, he's towing a dangerous line because he's supposed to be working. Yeah. What would you do?
I mean, I've done this before. I just usually head over to Disney Springs, do a little bit of shopping, do a little bit of dining. Usually you can, especially early in the afternoon, you can usually get a walk up, which is pretty nice at most places. So that's an option as well. And grab some snacks to take home for the road because, I'm big about my purse snacks.
Well, bring something home and then you're covered. You know what I'm saying? Even if it's just snacks cover everybody. Like I was thinking about you on my 4 hours.
Exactly. I'm so famous for my purse snacks. So, things come home with me when I go to Disney Springs. So I'm going to suggest that. That's usually what I end up doing when I have a couple of hours to kind of kill at Disney is I'll head to Disney Springs.
I think what I might do, this is just me, because he's going in November. The weather is usually sweet this time of year, and depending on where he's coming from. I might just take that Uber right over to the boardwalk. Because here's the deal. In 4 hours, I could walk around the boardwalk and snack. I could get something from like the boardwalk. I know it's not called the Boardwalk Bakery. What's it called? The cafe? I can't. I'm
the
old.
Deli.
The deli.
It's the deli.
It's always going to be the Boardwalk Bakery to me. Forget it.
Well,
it's like Twitter.
Change it from bakery to deli.
Twitter,
it's the Boardwalk Deli.
Whatever. It's still in the same hole. I'll still walk to the same door. It's still Ample Hills. They sell ice cream. Dude, I'm old. Like I do quick changing stuff. It's the pizza window. I would go to the boardwalk and enjoy a time there. I could go to the screen door shop, maybe get a slab of a piece of pizza, the ice cream, go to the board, get a crumb cake, whatever. There's all kinds of stuff.
You can get a pickle dog now.
There's all kinds of stuff to do on the boardwalk. Plus, here's the deal. You could hop the Skyliner and go to Caribbean Beach, Riviera, pop art. You could have all kinds of fun in 4 hours. That's what I would do. I'd probably go to the boardwalk. Scott, give him one more idea.
You kind of stole my answer, Mike, except I was going to, but it was similar. So November 15th, this is borderline. All right. But I would take my Uber to Wilderness Lodge and hope that the Christmas decorations are up so that you can see the Christmas tree.
Call.
I would get breakfast there. You can go to Whispering Canyon if you want, or you can go to the counter service. I'd probably go to the counter service if I'm by myself, get like a bounty platter or something like that. Yeah. And then I would boat over to the Magic Kingdom to hop on the monorail, and I would do a little monorail crawl. I would buy something at each gift shop for my family. So I get something at the Polynesian, I get something at the Contemporary, something at Grand Floridian, just a little something for the family. I don't know how many family members there are, but you can figure that out. And take in some of the Christmas decorations at all those resorts because they are fabulous during the Christmas time. And then I think you can boat over now, right? To the Contemporary, back to the lodge. Or actually, it doesn't matter because all you need is an Uber because you didn't drive. So wherever you end up on your monorail, just call the Uber there and take you back to where you need to go. That's what I would do in my 4 hours.
Yeah, you're set. I mean, either one of those Disney Springs, Boardwalk, over to the monorail loop. The Wilderness Lodge, man, that is the place to go at Christmas if that tree's up. Oh, man.
It just depends. Mid-November, I don't know. It could be close, but I think it's going to be up. I really do.
Yeah, it's going to be close. Oh, man, I love Wilderness Lodge at Christmas. Man, I'm so ready for Christmas after this show.
Or just, there it is. If it's up, just go to Wilderness Lodge, have your breakfast, and take the nap, right?
Nap. And the best nap is, it's not the main lobby. You go up about 3 or 4 stories.
Don't tell our secrets.
There's that secret fireplace, like on the 4th floor. I don't know if it's like the 3rd or 4th. You got to just look for it.
I took a nap there after Princess
I've
10K.
taken plenty of naps there.
This is wrong, but like I took my shoes off too, man.
For sure.
I fell asleep.
I don't ever do barefoot. I'm not a barefoot person, so I had my socks on. But like,
yeah.
I just relaxed on there, and like Liz snapped a photo of me because I was just like zonked out. I mean, nice. Early run Disney race, man. Like I lived the whole day by like 11 a.m.
Oh yeah, no kidding, man. There's just no tired like Run Disney tired. Yeah, I fell asleep up there one time so hard that like a custodial person was vacuuming and like vacuumed like right into my leg. That's how I
Oh
woke
my
up.
gosh.
Like right into my leg. I was like, oh, sorry.
That's funny.
I felt like I was like at home. Like my wife was telling me to pick up my feet. Like it's totally how I felt. Anyway.
But Richard, the key here, you gotta let us know. You gotta let us know what you did. I want to know if you went with
Yeah.
Ricky, Mike, me, or you just went D.
Did
None of the
something
above.
on your
You did
own.
your own thing. I
You're
want to
like-
know.
Yes.
I really wanna know.
He had a better idea. All right, that's going to do it for today's show. We're going to be back on Friday, and what we're going to talk about is attractions around Walt Disney World and Disneyland. We're going to go to Disneyland, too. We're going to combine the two. This is actually a suggestion from one of our listeners. Better in the day, better at night, or better in the wintertime, better in the summertime, better different times of the year. So we're going to kind of throw out an attraction and talk when it is at its optimal experience. So come back for that. And if you're joining us live, we have a lot of folks tuned in live on all the places. Hang around with us and help us out. Give us some feedback during the show. Don't forget our podcast today brought to you by the Magic for Less Travel. We'd love to help you plan your next Disney adventure. No additional cost to you, and lots of little goodies too for booking with the Magic for Less. Onboard credits for Disney Cruise Line, Disney gift cards, Walt Disney World, Disneyland Adventures by Disney. Check it out today over at themagicforless.com. Please also use our Amazon affiliate link when you shop online. One extra click supports everything we do here on the show. It's beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. And thank you so very much to our Patreon supporters. You're our all-stars. You make this show happen. You can support us as well, just $5 a month. It's like a cup of coffee a month. And for that, you get a bonus show every week. It's called Mike in the Midwest. Coming over this week, we'd love to have you. Patreon.com/beourguestpodcast. Give us a follow on the social media. I'm at beourguestmike. Scott's at epscott. You can also check him out at Must See Adventures on YouTube. Also, Ricky at Ricky Nibs. And we have the live show Sunday night, 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Central. You get to be a part of the show. I know people are like, hey, when can I share my trip? Hey, just give us some highlights. Call us Sunday night. Let us know. We always have a topic. We have a password to get into the show now. Last week it was your favorite snack at Epcot, and the winner was the mac and cheese at Animal Kingdom. You had to be there. I'm telling you, the winner, the best snack at Epcot was the mac and cheese at Animal. You had to be there
Wait,
for
the
the
best
call.
snack at Epcot? Okay.
Yes, you had to be there for the call. I'm telling you, man, the Sunday night shows are out of control. They're awesome.
Okay.
All
right.
It was our
crazy.
friend from North Carolina.
Yes.
Like, he was like legit. Like,
It
and
was
then he
that
realized,
good.
oh, you said that at Epcot.
Oh, Epcot.
But it had me and Mike rolling. Though. It was
Sunday
so
nights
good.
are
That's fantastic,
wild.
yeah.
I'm telling you, Sunday night, you got to be there. They're so fun. 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Central. Give us a call. We're going to do it again this Sunday night. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch. Also, we're in the clubhouse. The conversation never ends. It's our listeners. No ads, no nonsense. Coming over to beourguestpodcast.com/clubhouse. All right, we'll be back again on Friday. But until we get back together again, it's your job. You got to stay safe. You got to stay healthy. And we'll see you real soon.
You've been listening to the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. If you have questions, comments, or would like to be a guest on the show, please visit our website at beourguestpodcast.com. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you real soon.